everyone, it's Sandra from Midwest Charm. I'm at a funky angle here only so you guys can watch me today. I'm going to work on a few projects that I have pulled aside. Some of these are thrifted items which I haven't even shown yet, so I'm going to do that. Another one is finishing off that step stool that let me move my camera back, that we started a few videos ago. I'm going to finish that off. I found like a leaf stencil. I don't know. I'll show you in a second. So let me go ahead and get started today. I mentioned in a previous video, I never showed it to you. This is an Epicurious cutting board that was pretty worn. I got this for $3 at Goodwill. I sanded down the majority of the holes that were in this, painted this a gray. This is the color it was before. I didn't plan on using this as a cutting board. Again, it was nasty. I'm going to go ahead and stencil this today with a two-part stencil. Eventually this will get a nice chunky, probably plaid type ribbon here to hold it and hang it up at like this. So you'll see that will finish up today. I got these cute little drawers. You know I'm a sucker for these little tiny drawers. I think I paid $3 for this as well. This actually has ceramic front drawers. I cannot talk this morning. It has ceramic front drawers. I'm not going to paint the ceramic. I'm totally going to leave that. But I am going to paint the base of this, the rest of it. So this is going to be, I think we're going to go with black and white on this. And we'll get that done in a second because I'm also got this, which was $3 as well. It's got carving on it, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this black too, and then we'll distress it back so you can see the white underneath. I also have 2 bell jars. This is how I paint my jars. You'll see in a second. I'm going to actually paint these a nice tea rose pink for the holidays, or for the upcoming spring and Valentine's Day, and I may even throw some metallic pink on top of them. I haven't decided about the metallic pink, but they will be pink. You need to go play, baby girl. And then here is our step stool. You may remember us painting it. We're going to use this stencil on top, and we'll be doing that in a farmhouse green and then distressing everything back. And just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, I had to get kids settled, so I have a little time. It is still fall break, our winter break here. Josiah did start back to school this morning, so he was up and out the door while everybody else slept in until just a few minutes ago. So of course, as soon as I sit down to start recording, everybody gets up and needs something. But I think I have all of them taken care of and going with their chores for the day so they can earn up some screen time. I am going to start with the stencil on our Minnesota. I went back and forth with what to do on this. Hey, Noah, can you give me that little plastic thing of sponges right there on the top shelf? And I think I decided what I was going to do. You can just set them down, buddy. Thank you. I need them within reach, though, kiddo. Sorry. We are putting what you would call drawn heart and the word home over it. Listen, can you see? This is going to go in black, the heart. And if you saw, I stuck this stencil onto my sweatpants I have on to take some of the tackiness away so it doesn't pull off all of my paint. This has been painted and has been sitting for a while. Not too long, a couple days to a week. I'm going to use this. So this is the heart stencil. We're going to do this in black. So while I have the black out, we're going to do this and then paint up my 2 items that are going to be black. I thought I had it pointed down enough, so I'm just going to have to walk you through how I do this. If you've watched my videos before, you know that when I stencil, I tend to use the top of my paint and cosmetic sponges. And I offload onto an extra piece of paper so I don't get it overly goopy. And then pounce. So we are going to, not easy to hold, And then I go back to my offloaded paper and pick up the remaining paint from that. So I'm not wasting any paint. I'm all about saving the dollars. So I will use every bit I can get. And I'm sorry for any noise in the background. Noah is over there making quesadillas for breakfast. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit better coverage on this. I'm gonna just set it down for a second so I can make sure I'm getting all the coverage I need. All right, that is done. I'm gonna move my sponge and move that. I'm actually gonna peel this off while it's still wet. I'm not doing a second coat because I'm gonna come back in with white and go over the top of this, and then I'll probably sand it up a little bit just to give it some depth. So I'm gonna pull that off. Oh, I can't pull the rest off because I don't have my knife up here. So we're gonna let this rest of this dry and then we'll pull it off. All right, so next we have, I think I'm gonna use a small brush. I'll use a medium brush. We have our box that holds our drawers. These are ceramic front drawers. And just a reminder, I am not painting these. I just thought the contrast with the black and the white would look really good. So I am going to go ahead and get this painted. And I will do the back on this, so this can be set on a desk if you have a outward facing desk. And this is raw wood, so it should soak in pretty good, and I should get good one coat coverage on this, and I shouldn't need two. You should be able to see the wood grain and the dovetailing on this. This is not old. It is very light. It's not a heavy piece. Pretty, I don't want to say cheap, but it's not a one that I would feel guilty painting at all, obviously, or I wouldn't be. It's got definitely machine made. There's a little ding, so I'm making sure to get paint in that ding. And I'm making sure, because this is soaking up a lot of the paint, that I'm making all my brush strokes go the same way, so I don't have lines going two ways on it. And I'll give you a close-up and see if you can tell what I mean by that. Oh, you can with the light from outside. Making sure all of my brush strokes are going the same way. If I had one going like that, it would dry like that and you'd be able to see it. So we'll make sure it's all going the same way. All right. And we will need to be careful when we paint the front of this that we don't get too much paint on where the drawers go. We want to make sure we're just doing the face of the wood, not inside the drawers. We don't want it to make pulling those drawers out hard. And I will probably actually, I have what is called Big Mama's Butter, and I use it on drawers of dressers for a couple reasons. One, if they're a little bit on the musty smelling side, I'll use it. And two, I will use it like a wax so that it makes the drawers easier to open and slide. So I will definitely be adding this to it because these drawers were a little bit on the not so fun side earlier. Again, this is raw wood, so it's definitely soaking up my paint pretty good here. But again, I'm getting, sorry about that. I had a phone call come in, so let that go to voicemail, but it shut off my video. Again, we're just painting the box for these drawers in black. This is just a cheap, thin, raw wood that I am painting. The drawers have a ceramic front in white. So I thought we would do the black to give a really good contrast. I thought it would be rather cute. What's going on? And I am painting all sides and the bottom. just so that this can be moved around and it's not that blaring wood tone if it should be moved. I'm not painting inside where the drawers go because these were a little bit stiffer to pull out, and I want to make sure that it has a smooth pull. I will be waxing those drawers. I'll be using what's Dixie Belle's Big Mama's Butter in Orange Grove, so it'll give it an amazing scent. And then we'll also make these really smooth to pull and open. It'll be beautiful. All right, finishing off my brush strokes so they're all going the same way. And then it's got just a little bit of buildup where the edges are, so I just want to make sure I cut any of that down so we don't have any blobs. All right, I think I got that. Looks good. And then we're going to do the front. But when we do this front, we are just going to be careful so that we are just doing the edges. And I don't know how on earth to hold this so that, let me move this. Let's see if I can put this on top of some. This is the color I'm using next. So let's go ahead and we'll use our white since we're not using that until later today. And I just want to put that down, and we are going to go very slowly and carefully around these edges. I should have grabbed an art brush to do this because I'm getting some pooling in the corners of the drawer spaces, and I was trying to avoid that. Again, I apologize for the noise. It is still winter break here. My kids go back, most of the kids go back Monday. Josiah did go back today. So we're on a bit of a weird schedule. And let's see. We are going to try to get these without getting paint in the corners as possible. And it's still collecting a little bit, so we'll just make sure to brush it out. The drawers for these are like a creamy white, not quite cream and not quite, it's just an off-white. And I thought I wanted to go with a darker color. I don't do a lot in black, but I thought with these white drawers it would look really cute. Just have that nice contrast. All right, let's turn this, see if we can turn this without getting paint everywhere. I don't know if you can see that, I'll pick it up. There we go. So we're gonna let that dry. I'll peel off the piece on the bottom. It is just the backer from my stencil, so it's got a nice smooth and should come off without any issues. So then we are gonna paint this pedestal. It looks like I may have had a cloche on it at one point. I may try to find one, but in the meantime, we are gonna go ahead and paint this black and make sure to get in, and we're gonna either do white wax on this or distress it back to the white just to make the design on this pop. And this will probably need 2 coats because it is dark going over a light, and you know, we want to be able to get some coverage on this for what we want to do. All right, I don't know if you can see this. I'm just getting the paint on there right now. I will worry about brush strokes later. I am gonna make sure we don't have any drippies because those will be harder to clean up. I mean, this is chalk paint. It will just sand back, but I would prefer not to have to mess with that if I don't have to. I'm gonna get in all those little holes where I can still see that cream color popping through. Okay, and like I said, we will need a second coat on this. It is definitely got some of that original color coming through. Let me give you a close-up. Got quite the glare going on from outside and my lighting up above, but you can see there is some streakiness to it there. All right. Again, I don't use black very often. I've done black dressers and I've done black end tables. Actually, my black end tables have always sold really well. But for decor, I don't really tend to do a lot in black. I am not sure why, because when I have, it usually sells pretty quick. I've done a bread box in black, and then a farmhouse style apothecary drawer set that has not sold, but let me tell you, I have had that thing for sale for a while now, before Halloween, and it's black. It has 9 little drawers, and it's absolutely adorable. If I can figure it out on my new computer, I'll try to do an inset up above to show you it. So I've had this thing for sale, and I'm only asking $40 for it. To put it in comparison, for my bread boxes, I get 30. I've never had to go down on any of my bread boxes. They sell for 30 and they sell pretty fast. So I thought 40 was pretty good because this is obviously bigger than a bread box would be. The numbers on the drawers are in white. It is absolutely adorable. I had it set up in my living room over Christmas with red and black painted mason jars with red and black check and white, red, black, and white check ribbons around the top. And oh my word, it was the cutest thing. The red jars actually had black twine. Super duper adorable. But the problem I'm having with selling this is no matter, I've got the measurements listed in my listing for it. And I have it up on Facebook Marketplace because it's not something I'm ultra crazy about having to ship. I ship for eBay all the time. And we used to own a shipping and packing store when we lived in Arizona. So it's not like I'm afraid of shipping. I'm afraid of the shipping costs. This thing is not light. It's super cute though. But the problem I'm having, back to that, is everybody seems to think it's a full-size dresser. The first person I thought I had it sold to comes out, takes one look at it and says, oh, hey, that won't fit a microwave. Nope, no sir, it will not fit a microwave. So he left, and then I cannot tell you the countless number of people I've had contact me thinking it was a full size. I had somebody say, oh wait, I need to measure my vehicle before I come out. And I'm like, it's a tabletop, and it says that in the listing, as well as has the measurements, which is 17 by 19 by 8. I don't know, something around those lines. It'll fit in the front seat of anybody's car. And she's like, oh, well, I don't want it then. I thought it was a full size. Well, fine and dandy, but I don't understand where I went wrong in my listing that nobody seems to grasp that this is a full size, or not a full size dresser, that this is just a little tabletop. Again, I stuck this on my sweatpants so that it will pull up the paint, but will still adhere. And this does not always play nice when it's a big one like this with big spaces. So we're gonna just go through and do our best on getting this done. I have paint on my, black paint no less, on my fingers that I really don't want to get on the cream or the green once we do the green. Okay, so now we've got to mess with the fact that I have these sides, and it's not going to want to pull. It's still pulling up pretty nicely. Good deal. I was a little concerned. We're doing pretty good. And last one. deal. So what we'll do is after this is on, I will go back through and push down all of the edges to make sure that all of our edges are down and we don't get any seepage underneath the stencil. Okay. We're just gonna go around all of these spots, especially here. Just getting out any bubbles along these seams. All right, and we will grab a new, and we're just doing a light farmhouse green on this, and then it's gonna just get distressed back a little bit to make it look worn, so that it doesn't look like it's brand new paint on here. This is a Dixie Belle color. It's a lighter green, not quite a lime. I will show you it in the cap, and then obviously as we go through doing this stencil. And card to offload. And this is a really, again, a light green, and you will see it's gonna be very close in color to our cream. I don't know if you can see that. But once this gets distressed back, and I put too much paint on there, I did a boo-boo. I did not offload. So we will just move that paint around. All right. And we'll get this peeled up right away too, so you can see the final results, and then we'll get it all sealed up. And I don't remember what I paid for this step stool. It was not very much. It's an older one. I tend to be able to find step stools recently, as of recently, pretty easily. I don't think I've ever paid more than $3 or $4 for them, depending on what kind they are. I got my other one finished. That's gray and has the black stripes, so I've got that all sealed up and ready to go. I think I showed pictures on Etsy of it. So this is done. I'm not putting a second coat. I'm gonna make sure this has a really light, like I said, distress this, and I wanted something simple that could go in any decor. Remove my sponge. Let me show you. And that's what's gonna go on the top. I'm not doing anything on the sides. I'm gonna let this dry. I will go over it with some sandpaper, slightly scuff up these edges to make it look nice and worn like it would be if this were the original paint on it, and then seal this one up. It is pretty much good to go. And then let's pull up our little Minnesota and see if I can pick off the rest of the stencil with just my fingernails. Oh yeah, it's coming up. Now that it's dried, it's easier to get in there and grab it. So I'll get that pulled up and then I'll show you it, and then I will. I probably, ooh, I pulled up some paint. I will probably let this dry a little bit longer before I go back in with the final part to go over this. And this will get a light sanding because this will all feel raised and I want it to look nice and smooth. So this will also get a light sanding. So there's the heart. And then if we go over it now, it'll also get pulled up with my other stencil. But the other stencil that's gonna go across it, it just says home. And that will go right across that heart in white. And then we will sand it back and put it out. So, oh, my jars. You need to go play, love bug.
What?
Go play.
No.
Okay, so the jars we are going to do in Tea Rose. Sometimes I will add what's called Slick Stick, Dixie Belle Slick Stick to these to help the paint adhere, but we are gonna, if you've seen my other jars, I don't know if I have any right here. I do not. My other jars, I usually pull some of it off to make it look all chippy. And I will probably only paint one on camera, so you don't have to listen to me babble, and then finish up the other one off. And as you can see, I do get pretty good coverage with this, even with it being straight onto the glass. And you'll see I use, these are old water bottles, and I use those to hold so that I'm not trying to mess with holding the jar by the bottom and painting it. So what I will do with my jars is get it painted, let it dry. You are gonna wanna let this dry at least 48 hours because it is on glass and it will pull up. If you use slick stick underneath, it dries white. And sometimes with that, then you may wanna do a second coat of the pink or whatever color you're doing your jars, just to make sure you get full coverage over that white color. Of course they're gonna fall. So let me redo these. Make sure I didn't mess any of this up. There is some. Look at that. Okay. That's what I get for trying to juggle everything here this morning. And we're just gonna paint over it. I'm not looking for perfection. What I do when these are dry, and I will hopefully remember to do these on video. Sometimes I don't remember. For instance, I'm going to show you when I'm done with this found at 90% off day at the thrift store, this tray, this table tray that was, what color was it? It was black. Dated looking, had some scuffing. It's not real wood. I don't know if it's resin. I'm not sure what kind of material it is. If it's just like a press board, I don't know. It's ugly. It was ugly. I took that, I painted it a beautiful country blue. I believe Dixie Belle calls it dusty blue. And I also found 3 matching candlesticks that same day. 3 matching candlesticks that I also painted in the same blue. They were black with some reds, and I don't even know. They're kind of like a ceramic. So this is our set. And this side, then let me turn them around. There's some bleed through on these. So they do have like a grunge type look. But this is, I put them together and created this set. There's some, I don't know if you can see the design on that. They're just stressed back to kind of show it. But I'm going to try selling this as a set, as with the 3. I also dark wax, use dark wax on it too to bring out that age. And I don't know, I really love how they turned out. It's super cute. And I forgot to show the before on these, and I apologize. All right, so that is what I have for you today. I will have to go back. I just saw that I got some pink on my black little, oh, just some simple little spray off, little dots. So I'll just paint over that quick. I'm gonna get this other one done. Again, I probably won't keep you on here, but so what I do on these jars, let me finish that because I have ADD big time today. I wait probably about 48 hours. I let them dry, and I will lightly scuff over where like the emblem is and any words, measurement lines. I will lightly scuff over that with a sanding sponge, which I believe is like a 200 count or 200 grit, I believe. And mine are really worn down, so it's probably even greater than that, probably more like a 300 to 500. I will lightly scuff over it, and then I will go back and seal it with clear wax, let that dry, and buff it off. And when I buff that off, I will get a chippy look. It will pull off some of the paint, which is fine with me because I love how it looks. I will see if I can insert a picture of my finished ones I have. I have multiple colors that I have done I have some teal and white and red and black. But again, I wanted to get some pink ones done for spring and Valentine's. I had some black paint on that. So I will go back then with the wax. And then if I want to go back with white wax after the clear, or a darker wax, a gray wax would look cute with the pink, or a white. And I don't know what my dog is getting into under the table here, but she's having a riot over there. I will get that colored wax on top. And then with that colored wax, you leave it sit on, buff it off. And I will usually just do it again over any of the emblems or any of the wording or measurement lines or whatever to give it some depth and make it look nice and old and distressed, like it's been painted longer than, you know, a week or so. But I will see if I can get I'll either go grab mine or see if we can put a picture in. So there you have it. That's what I'm working on today. With it being the end of spring break, I might see I still haven't gotten the boys to help me carry in a piece of furniture to work on. So that's actually on my list of things to do today. We are pulling down the rest of our Christmas decor. So that is all going bye-bye. And I'm trying to decide what color to do in my living room. And then what to do in my corner over here where I display seasonally different Pyrex. I put Pyrex over there. So we'll see what I put over there. I haven't decided yet. With it still being winter, I might go find like my teals and my snowflakes and things like that. I haven't decided. And then back here will get redone too. So we're working on that today as well. As always, thanks for watching. Please like my video and subscribe and share with friends. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate any and all promoting you guys help me with. And thanks for watching. Bye.